Launch Vehicle. Landsat 9 was delivered into orbit by a United Launch Alliance Atlas V for 01 launch vehicle. A United Launch Alliance Atlas V for 01 launch vehicle delivered the Landsat 9 spacecraft into orbit from Vandenberg Space Force Base, Lompoc, California on September 27, 2021 from Space Launch Complex 3E. NASA awards launch services contract. October 2017 NASA selected United Launch Services LLC, ULS, of Centennial, Colorado, to provide launch services for the Landsat 9 mission. Landsat 9 launch date reviewed by NASA and United Launch Alliance. August 2021 NASA and United Launch Alliance reviewed the launch date for the Landsat 9 spacecraft, scheduled to launch from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. Pandemic demands for medical liquid oxygen impacted the delivery of the needed liquid nitrogen supply to Vandenberg by the Defense Logistics Agency, DLA, and its supplier Airgas. Airgas converts the liquid nitrogen to gaseous nitrogen needed for launch vehicle testing and countdown sequences. By the end of August, DLA and Airgas implemented efforts to increase the supply of liquid nitrogen to Vandenberg. At the time, the Landsat 9 launch was expected no earlier than Thursday, September 23, 2021. Dress rehearsal of launch day completed. September 3, 2021 putting the launch team, rocket and California pad to the test, United Launch Alliance, ULA, rehearsed the countdown to launch an Atlas V and the Landsat 9 spacecraft to continue building the longest satellite record of its kind to map natural and human-induced changes to the Earth's surface. The wet dress rehearsal, WDR, followed the tightly scripted countdown sequence at Vandenberg Space Force Base's Space Launch Complex 3 by retracting the Mobile Service Tower, MST, and fueling the Atlas V with cryogenic rocket fuel. WDRs are milestones meant to mitigate any issues before the actual launch day arrives, enabling engineers to evaluate how the rocket and ground systems behave to uncover any issues that might need further examination. Typically, they are performed for all Vandenberg missions to exercise the launch facilities. NASA and United Launch Alliance update Landsat 9 target launch date. September 15, 2021 NASA and United Launch Alliance reviewed the launch date for the Landsat 9 spacecraft scheduled to launch from Vandenberg Space Force Base in California. Attaching the spacecraft to the Atlas V rocket was delayed due to out-of-tolerance high winds for the operation and conflicts with other customers using the western range. The Landsat 9 mission was rescheduled to launch from Vandenberg Space Launch Complex 3 no earlier than Monday, September 27, 2021. Payload stacked atop Atlas V for launch. September 16, 2021 the Landsat 9 spacecraft and a CubeSat ride-share package were mounted atop the United Launch Alliance, ULA, Atlas V rocket. This complex launch featured 4 burns by the Centaur upper stage to release the payloads into 2 different orbits. The encapsulated payload stack was transported from the Integrated Processing Facility, IPF, to Space Launch Complex, SLC-3 for hoisting aboard the Atlas V. When preparing for liftoff, Atlas V stands at 194 feet tall, 59.1 meters, and weighs 749,479 pounds, 339,958 kilograms. The launch, which included the first 4-burn flight of a Centaur on an Atlas V mission, was scheduled for no earlier than September 27 at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, 2:11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 18:11 UTC. The image on the right shows the encapsulated payload stack with Landsat 9 transported from the Integrated Processing Facility, IPF, to Space Launch Complex, SLC-3 for hoisting aboard the Atlas V. Photo by United Launch Alliance. A successful Landsat 9 launch. September 27, 2021 at 1:12 p.m. Central Time Monday, September 27, Landsat 9 successfully launched from Vandenberg Space Force Base, joining its 2 predecessors in orbit. The Earth-observing satellite separated from the Atlas V rocket at 2:34 p.m. and made contact about 80 minutes later with the ground station at Svalbard, Norway.